Hi guys, how's it going? You guys doing good? I'm doing pretty good. So today's video, I was just going to talk about the... Hold on, what the Hello? What the Yo, dude, what are you doing here? Bro, I was just trying to chill. You said you would upload in a week. Dude, okay, I've been busy, okay? I've had a lot of stuff to do. I can't get this all done just within a certain time frame. I'm in school, I have a job, and it's just, I can't... This is too difficult, okay? Okay, I'm getting it. I'm about to record a video right now. What are you doing? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Get stop. Are we okay? Yeah. Hey guys, how you guys doing? So, sorry for not uploading for a while. I've just been super busy with, like personal stuff and got a job and everything, so life's been getting pretty busy for me, so uploading probably won't be as consistent as I want it to be. However, I still will make sure to get more content out for you guys, so just bear with me on that. So in today's video, I just kind of wanted to focus on my journey getting piercings as of now. So let's just hop right into it. So my first ever piercing ever was my earlobes, and these were actually done in my uncle's house. He used to be a tattoo artist slash body piercer, so he worked at a tattoo parlor that also did piercings, and he did both. We just kind of set up in his kitchen. He got all the needles set up. He had all the equipment. He had everything sterilized. He knew what he was doing with the knowledge that he had, because of course he worked back in the 90s and stuff, and not as much piercing knowledge was known. So, and I was ignorant to everything at the time, so I was hopping into this completely blind. It was pretty scary for me getting my earlobes pierced. I got them pierced at a 12 gauge, which, that's a pretty big piercing just to get for your first one, especially in your earlobes. That's a relatively thick one compared to, a regular piercing you might get. So, and I got these 12 gauge circular barbells put in them, which I know now, not really supposed to do that, but I didn't know. I thought they were cool looking. So that first experience kind of just set in stone, piercing for me. There wasn't really anything special attached to it. However, it did teach me the level of pain that I would be feeling when I would get more piercings later on, which I didn't know I would, but eventually I kind of used that as my guide to manage my pain, or all the adrenaline plus never being pierced before. It seemed pretty up there to get pierced in the earlobes, but later on, as I started getting cartilage piercings, it was pretty easy. So after a while of having those pierced, a few years, I decided to stretch them up to a 00 gauge at the time. And I'd say about a year ago, I decided I wanted to get my cartilage pierced. I was already getting into piercings at this time, so it was pretty easy for me to pick out the ones that I wanted. Plus, my cousin had gotten his cartilage pierced before, and I thought that was really cool. So I already kind of knew what I wanted for a bit if I were to get a cartilage piercing, but I got two piercings at one time. I got my helix piercing, and I got my rook piercing, which I don't know if a lot of you know I haven't posted on my Instagram. That experience was pretty nice because it was my first ever time in a real piercing studio, getting a professional piercing by someone who knew what they were doing and was up to date. Shout out to my piercer Rob, by the way, first ever person who pierced me in a professional setting. He works at HTC now in Tempe, I think, so go follow him, he's really cool. So yeah, and then I got that done with my friend Lindsay. She wanted to get her helix pierced with me because we wanted to get it, I guess, matching. She got a little, I don't know if I have a picture of it, she got a little crescent moon in here, and I kept this turquoise little bead in there because, it's kind of my aesthetic, I guess. I've just stuck with the turquoise ever since I got my helix piercing, so just thought it looked cool. And then my rook piercing was kind of just one that I picked out on a whim a bit because I wanted a piercing that I really knew I could get, and after looking at my ear, I was pretty close to sure that I could get a rook piercing, which I'm thinking about getting a second one actually. That's video coming up. I wanted to get a piercing that I knew I could get, and one that I could pretty much hide easily from my school because they don't allow piercings, but I still have them because they love me. No, they don't, but whatever. And the rook kind of stood out to me for that. So honestly, my pain experience with that one wasn't as bad because, one, it was pierced at a smaller gauge than my earlobe piercing. It was pierced at a 16 gauge, so I was pretty surprised at how easy it was to be pierced. But my rook piercing was probably my worst one so far. It really for some reason my rook just hurt so bad. It was a lot of pain, but then there was like that pressure on there because it's right in the inside of your ear, and you kind of have to like really reach in there, and you have to like kind of press to get everything well transferred and push past and everything. So it was a lot of pressure and pain, but you know, it turned out well in the end. So a couple months roll by and I got my first paycheck at Goodwill, and then I decided, hey, you know what, with this first paycheck, I'm gonna pay $70 to get my doth pierced. Because I've looked at it online and I thought it looked really cool, and it was just a really big thing to fill up the space, and my laundry machine is loud as fuck. 1 second. Anyway, and you know what, getting my doth pierced is actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. Because I thought, you know, expecting it to be like on the inside of my ear, and you know, being so close to my eardrum, like hearing the thing, like I thought, you know, it'd be a lot harder than it was. But to be honest, it really wasn't that bad. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say the pain was like a 4, you know? Not that bad for a piercing at all. And I still get headaches. Don't believe the myth. No piercing can cure you of any disease or of any disorder that you have. If you have any problems with that, go get it checked out by a doctor. Don't let a needle through skin solve your problems. So the next experience that I remember having, I believe I told this story on my Instagram, the story of the conch piercing, which if you want to go check that out, and my Instagram's just in the description. It tells pretty much the full story of what happened there. But so basically the gist of it was I went to this random shop in Tucson that did walk-ins. I paid like $60 for this conch piercing, and the dude, you know, didn't really use proper use of PPE or, you know, use the right jewelry for my piercing, and he didn't really pierce it at a good angle. So it hurt for a while. It didn't heal properly at all. But, you know, pain-wise, getting pierced by it, it was pretty easy to get the piercing, you know? The pain level wasn't that bad, just over time, did not work out in my favor in the end. However, whenever I got my 2 little conch piercings done by my sweet, sweet, sweet piercer, Caitlin, I don't know where she's at now, she noticed when the ring was, you know, pierced at a bad angle, it was, you know, not healed properly, it was really angry, and so we decided to just take it out, and then I got my other conch piercing. No, but that's the next one. We can worry about that later. I was originally going to go for a vertical industrial piercing instead of those 2 conch piercings. However, you know, I figured out I didn't really have the right anatomy for it. So we just kind of went with the double conch, and we're planning on actually either connecting it with the chain or turning it into an orbital piercing. That's going to be so cool. I'm so excited. But yeah, pain level not that bad. Even though it's pierced kind of like in the same area, you know, people say it hurts pretty bad, but to be honest, it didn't really hurt that bad. Like each piercing kind of felt the same to me, and you know, sure, one was, you know, pierced when it was swollen, and it kind of had it was a little bit more intense, but not really that bad. Not that bad at all. I'd say like a 4 out of 10 again. So then after that, we scheduled to get my conch piercing redone after it heals up, and you know, coincidentally, it lands on a day where she's having a sale for piercings, which is like, I think $20 per person, I think it was. So the end of the month comes by, and Caitlin, I love you. You're an amazing person. You're an amazing piercer. Just she wasn't there. So I walked in there, told them that I had a piercing scheduled and it was for the sale, and only Rob, the other guy that pierced me like all these other times, only Rob was in there piercing all these people, and it was like really hectic in there. And then we had a little bit of a scare because he said that the sale wasn't available to anybody anymore. So we thought we had to pay full price for one piercing, and we were all panicking because we didn't have the money, and it was bad. But then we ended up getting everything figured out because we scheduled before. It all worked out in our favor. We paid the $20 and got this little guy stuck in my ear. Again, pain level not that bad. It's 5 out of 10 probably because it was pierced through a scarred cartilage, but I think it's pretty well healed now. Doing a pretty good job taking care of it. Okay, so as you can probably tell, I'm pretty hectic when it comes to my piercings. I'm trying to calm down a bit, but when I get one piercing, it's like I want to get another one and another one and another one. So about a month, maybe like 2 weeks after getting my conch pierced, I scheduled to get my floating industrial piercing done by Rob once again. He's done like all of my piercings except for like the 2 that Caitlin did. So the day finally arrives. He kind of like created this little thing out of a already existing barbell, and then he got a ball joint and just kind of screwed it on there with the barbell. It was pretty genius on his part, you know. He did some construction work and made that. So I walk in there and it was pretty packed, so we had to wait a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is, you know. Sometimes people are behind on stuff, and you know, things happen, life happens. And also I got to bring my boyfriend with me, so we got a lot of time together, so that was good. So honestly, I wasn't really that anxious to get this piercing, because after a while of getting pierced over the times, I was kind of already expecting what to get. And I will say this piercing was a little bit more painful than the other ones. However, it's not as painful as most people make it out to be. And I had to ask them, like, wait, we're already done? Like, when we finished up, like, I thought we were still going, but it was like finished just like that. Like, it did not hurt for me at all. It's not as bad as people say it is. Don't let people just saying, oh, it's painful, it takes so long to get. If you want an industrial piercing, you can get an industrial piercing. Get the industrial piercing. Pretty fun experience. We had Robin there, and then Caitlin decided to join in and watch, and you know, it's pretty fun. It was really fun, just everybody in there kind of watching, and it's a dope piercing. I love the statement that it makes. I love the appearance of it. I'm planning to get a new piece of jewelry in there where it's all, you know, anodized and, you know, turquoise to match my aesthetic, so waiting for that. But yeah, I guess I'll put up pictures of me getting the piercings in order too, just because, like, you know, lore and stuff.
Come on.
But yeah, that's pretty much my experiences of getting pierced. And if you want to, let me know your piercing experiences in the comments. And, you know, if anything you want to say else, just leave it down in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe. And I'll see you whenever I upload again. Bye.